Hello and welcome to this video. It's about my most recently drawn hybrid by Metrogenetics, Microcosmos marinas, or a biologically accurate Kraken. A shout out to Metrogenetics again. They are the GOAT of drawing hybrids. But a fun fact: Microcosmos marinus is the actual scientific term for a Kraken. It was originally classified in some scientific text, I think. I forget what it was. I think it was like last time I saw it was a few months ago, but it was pretty darn cool. So, but I have many potential names for this guy. I originally went with Gezora, but based on the thing from the Toho movie that involved a amoeba called Yog that infected a squid, a lobster, and also a turtle. But I specifically named it Gezora after the squid. But anyways, this uses the giant squid for size and its type of suckers. I use the Nautilus for the shell. It's not the best represented, but it's still really good. And it also uses giant octopus for intelligence. Irukandji Jellyfish for sort of stingers on the tentacles, and said tentacles are also covered in spikes thanks to the sea urchin, and the sea urchin also gives it a neat little trick that I'll go back to a little later. The tips of the tentacles are also highly venomous, not only from the jellyfish, but also from the blue sea dragon, or Glaucus atlanticus, which steals the venomous stinging cells from Portuguese man-o'-war, or blue balls as people in Australia call them, and jellyfish. And they repurpose them into their tentacles to become even deadlier than they already were. So yeah. Also, the sort of shell here. If I haven't, crap. The shell here, which is supposed to be from the ammonite, is enhanced by the limpet, which also enhances the beak and also some of the spikes and the teeth on the suckers. And essentially, this thing is going to grip and rip apart anything and everything that gets in its way, that it gets in its clutches. And also, it has electric shocks on the ends of its tentacles from the electric eel. Oh yeah, also it has blue-ringed octopus for venom, and also has cuttlefish for camouflage. While it cannot camouflage the shell, I'm giving this thing a unique tactic to basically fold its arms in on itself, and basically sort of basically either scoot along the floor of the ocean, or basically pogo stick its way across the sea while curled up in a ball. Leave it up. Whichever one is funnier, in my opinion. Oh yeah, the electric eel also allows it to use electroreception, and one of the last major contributors for the old special trick I mentioned. I also added the blue whale to make it larger. This thing is up to 90 feet fully extended, and I think like 20 feet or so is made up of the head or shell part. I'm not the best with this, but I'm not a squid biologist. Either way, it's 90 feet at full length, and I don't know its weight either, but I assume it's around like 8 tons at this size. I don't know. Shout out to anyone who is able to come up with a better weight estimate. But anyway, back to that special trick I mentioned earlier. I watched a casual geographic video a few days ago, and it mentioned how sea urchins can basically fire off little chompers of their own to inject venom into stuff. Basically, this thing has a shotgun in its mouth, which actually wouldn't be my first time incorporating guns into animals with biology. If you remember Rodan or Tenopteryx vulcani, I used iguana to basically to weaponize its sneeze. But this thing is also is incredibly intelligent. It's probably one of the most intelligent aquatic hybrids, and probably one of the most powerful at that. And since it's far away, and speaking of, I'm going to mention some of its battle tactics. Tactic 1. The grapple and crush maneuver. Self-explanatory. Basically wraps itself around its prey, putting them in a stranglehold, and just popping them like a grape. If not causing enough blood loss and cutting and choking the venom into one specific area to allow for maximum suffocation. Tactic 2. The bait and switch. The bait and switch involves the Microcosmos going into a crevice or ravine that it can traverse much better than its opponent. If the opponent is stupid enough to go in, that's the last thing you ever do, because Microcosmos will basically grapple onto them, attempting to swing them around and to slam them into the sides of the crevice to disorient them and prevent them from fighting back. And this will repeat as many times as it takes to die from blood loss or blunt force trauma to the skull. Tactic number 3. The danger hug. This is different from the grapple and crush in the fact that it grabs it by the face. Usually grabs its opponent by the face. It keeps them at arm's length. Electrocutes them, injects them with venom. Venom through the jellyfish, for the Irukandji Jellyfish stingers, and using its ink cloud to suffocate them all at once. Basically, it's meant to overstimulate most. It can overstimulate most other opponents, and it is really, really effective against something like a whale. Speaking of, this thing hunts whales for a living. Also, it hunts jellyfish. However, other squids, however, are off the table. It may or may not be searching for a sign up to Kamikaze Chess Club. Anyways, another tactic that they would employ is getting someone else to do it. Whether it be teaming up with another of its species, or teaming up with another squid hybrid, doesn't matter which it is, and basically having one of them corral smaller stuff in an area where Microcosmos can fry them with an electrical blast. And the 5th tactic is, I call it the wrecking ball. It's basically, it uses its tentacles and its jet propulsion to grab onto a surface and propel itself forward towards its opponent with its shell first and slamming into them repeatedly. It sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and may or may not actually work. I just thought of this on the fly, and I thought it was hilarious. So, yeah, that's it. Shout out to Metro Genetics. You are the GOAT. Also, thank you for the Tarrasque you drew. It was really, really good. And, oh yeah, another thing. The coloration was inspired by the Hungry Shark World Squid boss. And I really love how the purple and the red worked. Also, I might be the only one who thinks that they look like gummy worms, and I would take the risk in eating that.